Sure,
Yeah,
Manthan.
let's go.
Okay. Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to all the participants joining us for the second episode of the Manthan series hosted by Microinsurance Innovation Hub. So, this series is our effort to bring together practitioners, innovators, and thought leaders who are shaping the future of inclusive finance. Through these conversations, we aim to make financial systems more accessible, affordable, and meaningful for everyone. So, today's discussion focuses on digital innovation and financial inclusion. So to guide us the conversation, we have our moderator, Mr. Mukesh Dhawan, co-founder and CEO of Shodli Digital. He's a seasoned fintech leader with deep expertise in digital financial solutions. Then our speakers, Mr. Vijay Chand, MD and CEO of Dwara Solutions. He's leading the way in tech-driven financial inclusion. And Ms. Bhargavi Ramadgu, founder and CEO of Clevernav Solutions. So she's driving digital innovation for inclusive growth. And Mr. Aman Singh, MD and CEO at B4E InsurTech, is focused on building affordable InsurTech platforms. So with that, I'm pleased to invite our moderator, Mr. Mukesh Dhawan, to take the discussion forward. Yeah, and a small note to all the participants, during the session, if you have any queries or a word, please drop the thing in the chat box. Yeah. Mukesh, you can go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Matri. Thanks a lot. And just one declaration, I'm not an expert. I'm also trying to learn as we work, which is very typical of insurance industry. When I started my career about 25 years ago, when India got liberalized in 2000, so my first startup experience was actually with India's startup of private sector. It sounds very fancy, but it was real for me. And that's what pulled me into insurance way back in 2000 when I was part of the team in ICICI Prudential. And we only had one role model or one example to look at, which was Life Insurance Corporation. And of course, their associate companies. But since then, it's been a long journey, but very exciting. We are in a stage or phase where technology has really changed the rules. Some of us may agree, may not agree, because I know traditionally you still have the documents that we talk about. You still have the same multi-page insurance policy that you're supposed or expected to read as a customer and also interpret, which itself is triggering of many startup opportunities. The other day, somebody wrote to me that, can you interpret a Takaful plan, which is the Islamic insurance, very popular in Malaysia and Indonesia and some parts of Middle East. And I was just wondering, yeah, I've seen tools which interpret life insurance plans from other languages, but this was about Sharia. Now, I don't want to digress, but the point is there's so much to do in this topic. And what we will do justice or try and do justice today in an hour is on microinsurance. And I'm very fortunate that I'm part of this panel today. Very lucky to moderate, I'll say, some very gutsy entrepreneurs, which is Vijay, Aman, and Bhargavi. I definitely feel every entrepreneur in the insurance space in Asia is first needs a lot of courage, and then, of course, vision and competency. But they all fall in place, in my view, only if you have the courage. Slides won't do the trick. You got to tell yourself in the morning, I'm going to do it, or we are going to do it. And that will define the rest of the day, because there are ups and downs. It is a roller coaster for entrepreneurs like us. And it's no more a set of rules which you can follow. There are no rules. I mean, we hopefully 10 years later, whoever is moderating here will have some rules or will have some role models. But at the moment, we are learning and growing together. So do bear with me if I do say something or do touch upon, let's say, an unpleasant chord. But the idea is to stir it up. I don't think entrepreneurs can be very, very calm and easy group. So hope to have a good time with Vijay, Aman, and Bhargavi today. And before I steer into to kick off, do want to assure everybody that it is in microinsurance, a lot of good work has been done. We talk about technology driving it. We will talk a lot of it today with examples. But lots has been done. And I will talk more about Asia, and we will steer it to India and other markets as well. But from data that I searched recently from Munich Re and other sources, reliable sources, there are 2 billion microinsurance policyholders in Asia. Imagine 2 billion policyholders. And that's amazing job done. Needless to say, India and China being there in Asia, of course, change the numbers. But that is also our pride, being in Asia, that we don't have to worry about numbers. And this is, I'm talking about human. We are not talking about cattle. We are not talking about crop, because the data is even more, I'll say, compelling, but not so easy to present. So with the 2 billion policyholders, growth rate still is anticipated to be 10 to 15% CAGR. In premium terms, if I have to say, it is definitely about 10 billion US dollar premium size market in Asia. I'm talking Asia, all of Asia. And I hope some investors are listening. Even with that kind of scale, we are talking 10 to 15% growth. So there are some interesting pools or cohorts available in all of Asia, which we may not be able to cover. But while India and China are two big or giants, we do have some interesting cohorts in Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, and they are all really pushing hard with the help of government. And that again takes me to the point that this microinsurance is also a sweet spot for private sector and public sector to shake hand. This is where you will always see examples of government support and drivers being set by finance ministers or prime ministers, including Prime Minister Mr. Modi, who has set some very good yojanas to change the numbers in India at least. And so are countries like Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines are doing likewise. So there is a very good marriage between public and private sector, which is much needed in this. And of course, the topic or the headline being today, how will technology drive it or accelerate it? Technology, like anywhere else, will act as a catalyst, whether it's the mobile phones or ease of payments. I believe ease of payments in the underserved part will actually be a very crucial catalyst, because sometimes we say they can't afford it. But sometimes what I have seen, they can afford it, but they don't know how to make it happen. The product design and the payment, they may have cash. I mean, you go to certain parts of the economy in Asia, they have cash, but they don't know how to pay. And then it becomes like, where is the due diligence? Where is the KYC? And things like that. And then this I'll say, much needy person actually backs out because he doesn't know how to buy the plan. He needs it. He knows the paperwork, but he has cash to pay. And he's told, wait, where is the KYC? Now, I know there is Aadhaar. I know there are a lot of ID cards, but still it hasn't been put together very well, which is where technology will play an amazing role. Starting with KYC, starting with making it very clean and of course seamless. So lots of challenges, but at the same time, good drivers. I feel very positive about this space. Drivers with technology and payment gateways will open new doors. And while we talk about human lives, while we talk about underserved or those who can't afford it, we have a very interesting friend here, Vijay, where the reason I was talking about ID proof and everything, from him we will hear a very different way of ID proof for cattle. Now, I'm sure whoever you are in this audience, we mostly talk about human, we only talk about fingerprint, or we talk about retina or signatures. But what you are about to hear from Vijay, which I didn't hear before that, when I caught up with him a few days ago, he's talking about a very different KYC process for a different animal. So
Thank you.
over to you, Vijay. I don't think I can do justice to what you can cover. Let's hear it from the Vijay, something very innovative.
Thanks, Mukesh. I represent the Dwara Group. We are a group of 10 companies very focused on financial inclusion, started exactly a decade and a half ago. At this point, we very proudly and very humbly acknowledge that we've touched 100 million lives, and we want to continue on that path. I represent the technology arm of the Dwara Group, and today I will speak about one of the problem statements that a portfolio company of Dwara Group is solving. The name of the company is Dwara E-Dairy. So let me just walk you through some very interesting numbers first. India has 300 million cattle. This is the largest population of cattle anywhere in the world. And 89% of cattle farmers in India are actually not the large dairies that we are very used to talking about. These are cattle farmers who are owning less than 10 animals, less than 10 cows. Now, this is the segment which at 89% is still not really touched by technology. um, अगर आप मेरे साथ okay, maybe I should just stick to English now.
It's okay.
If you join me, I mean, I go to the field very often, and if you join me and visit any of these small cattle farmers, typically they will talk in the language कि मेरे दादाजी भी इसी तरह करते थे, पिताजी भी इसी तरह करते हैं, मैं भी इसी तरह करूँगा. In the sense that, I have been traditionally following the methods of cattle rearing that my grandparents did, my parents did, and now I do that. So technology really hasn't touched a very large segment of cattle farmers in India. And because technology hasn't touched, an alarming figure for insurance in cattle is less than 4% in India, which means a country that has the largest population of cattle has less than 4% penetration of cattle insurance. Now, why is cattle penetration insurance in cattle at such a low percentage? That is because cattle identity was a problem. Many of you, if you've been to your villages or even maybe just the outskirts of the larger cities in which you live, you may have seen that a cow has a yellow tag on the ear. Now, this is actually a very invasive way of creating cattle identity, which is actually put through a gunshot. So there is a gunshot, it is put on the ear of the cattle, and unfortunately, so a lot of ears are actually cut off, and the tag is taken away, etc., etc. Let me not get there. At Dwara E-Dairy, we've looked at the problem of cattle identity very closely and created India's first facial recognition program for cattle identity. Now, here is how it works. Just like all of you have your thumb impression, and for those of you who've joined from India, you're very familiar with Aadhaar, right? Aadhaar is based on your thumb impression, which is unique to every human being. The muzzle of the cow, which is the nose of the cow, is unique to every single animal on the planet. And with just two pictures of the muzzle through an app called Surbhi, Dwara creates a digital identity of the animal and stores it in a central repository. Now, how does this help get better at insurance? Because every animal is biologically independent and different from each other, insurance companies were very hesitant to provide insurance given that cattle identity what itself was a problem. At the last mile, every cow looks the same. I mean, there may be black patches, brown patches. Today, there are 4 or 5 different varieties of cows, but for an insurance company, it's extremely difficult. Now, what if at the insurance company level, through an API, within seconds after taking a picture of an animal, just the nose, you could actually identify who or where is that animal, including the geolocation. Now, via this method, 600,000 cattle in India have today been identified, and these are now becoming a very important API-led technology stack for insurance companies to provide insurance to cattle. The second problem for low insurance is, what am I insuring? I'm insuring a biological animal. How do I know? I mean, if you look at any collateral based insurance, so for example, micro lap, which is basically the fastest growing category today for very small houses, कच्चा पक्का मकान, etc. There is still a house. उसका कागज मिलता है, उसका आइडेंटिटी का डॉक्यूमेंट मिलता है. गोल्ड के अगेंस्ट आपको गोल्ड मिलता है, विच इज एन एवर ग्रोइंग एसेट. बट कैटल, एवरी एनिमल इज डिफरेंट. नाउ, the government of India wants a veterinary doctor every 8 kilometers in the country. The statistic is there is not even one every 800 kilometers. Now, why is that true? Veterinary doctors are very few and far to find. Two, they're very happy with the cats and dogs and mouses that we want to bring from a house. अपनी गाड़ी में बिठा के लेके जाते हैं. They're happy with that. For a veterinary doctor, the cattle can't be brought there. The doctor has to go there. That was the second problem. Insurance company wants to know the health of the animal. How does that get solved? By taking 3 pictures of the cattle. Today, Surbhi also provides what is called Surbhi score. Surbhi score is a simple red, amber, green, which provides the total overall health status of the animal, including the productivity of milk over the next 24 to 48 months based on input that is provided in the app. Very basic, it works in 14 languages. आप इंडिया के किसी भी कोने में है, wherever you are, you can actually punch in data in your own language for the animal that is there with you. And it provides a health card in the language of choice to the farmer and to the insurance company, basis which today insurance companies are able to provide insurance for cattle in India. Before Surbhi, average cost of cattle insurance in India was about 1080 rupees, and there was no flexibility on the amount of money you could insure. Today, on Surbhi, cattle farmers can choose the premium that they want to pay, the amount of money they want to insure between 10,000 and 70,000 rupees, and the insurance premium has come down to 499 rupees. Over 200,000 such policies have already been issued via partners within the insurance space who are working with Surbhi today. And last month, we've also launched a complete DIY application, which means a farmer can now actually use the Surbhi app, online buy insurance, online submit claims. I'll take a pause here and see if there are any questions, but that's the use case I wanted to share with all of you.
Are we getting the questions, Maitra, that you can ask?
Not yet.
Or
We'll be
then
getting
can
on the
I
chat
ask
box.
can I ask a question, Vijay?
Of
Very
course,
interesting,
please.
of course. And how does the claim work in this?
Sure. No,
If you can just elaborate, because
very
insurance is all about getting the claim. The farmer will not
absolutely.
feel good if all this technology is there, because even if you're communicating with his language, I'm sure in that language also I'll say claim kaise milega.
Absolutely. No, I think very important, because I think insurance as a product can only be validated if the claims are correctly managed and efficiently paid on time. Today, the insurance partners that we work with, including the DIY process, where a cattle farmer, by taking 2 pictures of the dead animal in the unforeseen circumstance that the animal does pass away, the claims are being paid between 2 days to 2 weeks, and we are trying to make that even more stronger. Again, the technology that is sitting at the back of it is doing 2 critical things. One, is it the right cattle that was originally insured? And that is coming out of the digital identity repository. Jaise for human beings, there is now an Aadhaar repository, there is a Surbhi repository for cattle. So once the cattle
Sorry, does Surbhi also belong to your company?
It's a Dwara brand, yes.
Okay.
So we are a group of 10 companies. I am representing just one use case. At Dwara, we are working in multiple fields for small agri farmers, for cattle farmers. We provide loan origination, loan management solutions. There's a variety. We have 2 in-house NBFCs. We have a dedicated research company that works very closely with the government of India as a think tank on financial inclusion. For the purpose of this meeting, given the time we had, I just wanted to talk about this, just one interesting use case, one out of the 10 problems we are solving today. So back on the claims, I think the first challenge really was to identify, and that is where a lot of mismanagement used to happen in the past, which is where insurance companies were very hesitant, especially the public sector insurance companies. Today, because cattle identity has become easier to capture, that kind of speeds up the claim process. And then technically the health card that we also provide. So right now, the spread is between 2 days to 2 weeks. And because the cohort is still very small, I think it's incorrect to speak about claim ratio as a percentage today. But as we move along, I think this will become a very important statistic to validate the success of that. But the primary 2 problem statements, Mukesh, have really been solved here.
Great. I mean, it's really a very important aspect you're touching, and I admire your organization and your team for researching so much, because we talk about human lives and the research where the data is available very easily. For cattle, I've had no prior understanding, but it's a awakening, and I really hope there are some more questions for you, and we can get some more awareness for the line of work that you are doing for microinsurance.
Thank you, Mukesh.
So let's move and I like to just say, but you just said all the cows look the same. I don't know if cows do their own meeting, they would say all the humans look the same. And moving on to the human part now, let's hear Bhargavi. Health insurance. I will now go to some things which is more slightly easier to interpret for everybody. Microinsurance has a huge role to play. In some parts of the world, it's also known as bite-size insurance. Some of us also call it sachet insurance. The consumer, fast-moving consumer goods guys are also calling it consumer goods like sachet. In some parts of the space where I'm working, 7-Eleven chain of stores, for example, in Philippines, are now wondering, can they sell a health insurance with a QR code? So while everybody goes there to buy small packets or sachets, 7-Eleven stores, what they do. But imagine distributing health insurance from there, because there are so many of, if nobody else, all the gig economy workers definitely go to a 7-Eleven store, at least as far as people outside India are concerned. They go there not even once a day, they possibly go there 3 times a day, because some of them are having their lunch and dinner there, or buying any small knick-knack there. Now, steering towards you, how do you think your organization is going to use technology for reaching out to or making the health insurance more inclusive in India? So tell us.
That's actually a great thought, Mukesh. Before I talk about the technology, how technology can enable this, especially in countries like India. But the thought of being able to purchase using scanning a QR code is amazing. And I really wish India reaches that stage in another 10, 15 years. And I think you started off the session saying that a lot has been done in the last 20 years. I completely agree. A lot has changed, but still, a lot feels unchanged also, because I started my career in insurance precisely some 15 or 16 years ago. So the kind of problems we talk about now, a lot of it existed then as well. While technology revolutionized many things, be it your customer onboarding, KYC, and all these digital platforms which facilitate easy API integration with the partners selling insurance and the companies, a lot has remained unchanged. And the fundamental reason why a lot has remained unchanged is insurance itself is a complex product. Again, I don't have to repeat the obvious, but because it's a complex product, and it's a complex product not just for the people who are buying it, but also those who are selling it. The reason why I'm mentioning this is for the longest time, we've been talking about that the reasons for underpenetration in markets like India, and specifically India, are lack of awareness, affordability, and access. Right. However, I personally think affordability is not a concern, because companies are now in a position to be able to bring out affordable products, like you're mentioning, bite-sized products, sachet products, and
Totally agree.
they have many ways of coming up with affordable products. That's not a challenge at all. In fact, the regulations also facilitate ease of bringing the products now. And Aman, while he'll also talk about how easy it has become to launch new products, I think the biggest problems to solve for are this problem of awareness and access, because how many of our distributors have come, new age distributors, technology players, and whatever be the great initiatives taken up by the industry players, still there aren't many people selling insurance to the LMI segment. Like, I come from district headquarter in Telangana. There aren't many people selling insurance to the people there, and affordability is not a concern. If you see tier 3, tier 4 locations in India, a lot of people have that kind of wealth. They are willing to spend because they have got some awareness. While it's a bigger problem for LMI segment in micro insurance, there is some awareness thanks to government initiatives, COVID, and in general on the financial inclusion initiatives undertaken by many companies like that are part of this webinar too. The problem is there aren't many people selling to these customers. There are leads, but there aren't many people selling. If you look at the data, there are some 40 plus lakh agents in India, right? But how many of them are active? Less than 20%. And insurance, unfortunately, in India has to depend on physical distribution channels for at least another 10, 15 years. The people who are buying digital are all in metros and cities. So I have no option but to depend on physical distribution channels, which means you're dependent on your agents or your banks or NBFCs who are meeting these kind of customers. But again, with banks and NBFCs, there is this rampant problem of mis-selling. While the customers trust someone like a bank, someone who is a bank official or someone representing an NBFC, and they have a better relationship with them, but there is this huge problem of mis-selling there too. So the solutions that we are working on are very simple.
Yeah.
We would like to use AI to make this distribution easier for companies, because companies can't open up offices anywhere. While you hire agents, making them skill ready or making them capable enough to go sell to the customers is not easy, because driving agent productivity is the biggest challenge. I mean, companies spend most of their effort into driving their sales productivity, especially insurance companies. Of course, sales productivity is a problem of every organization, but especially in insurance companies, it's even a bigger problem, because these are not people whose core job is selling insurance, right? So how do you enable them? Here, it's not like they don't have access. And the reason why I'm stressing much on distribution is insurance is also bought because of the trust. Like, if you don't know, firstly, you don't know what the product is, and you don't know who is selling that. If you are not comfortable buying that product from some party who you have never had any relationship with, it's even more difficult. So the way to go, and that's the reason all industry initiatives are also moving in that direction, is to have more agents in all locations, in semi-urban, rural, who are catering to all this low and middle income segments, have as many agents as possible and enable them to sell insurance better. So how are we doing it? Like I said, insurance is complex even for the people who are selling it, right? So we make selling so much easier that they don't have to worry about how to interact with the customer or how to explain the features to the customer. So we give human-like expertise, like how your top salesperson or an expert salesperson. Top salesperson is a wrong word, sorry. I think the right word here is the expert salesperson, who understands your needs, who understands about the product and sells what is right for the customer. So we are giving that kind of expertise to these people in a very simple and easy to use tool. And I'm sure all of you agree that language is a big barrier. Well, we talk about all these initiatives. It's not like companies haven't tried. They also have a lot of simplified sales literature, a lot of digital tools which is selling. But the problem is language too. Like, if the person is not trained or doesn't understand it in the language that they speak, it's difficult for them to communicate to their customers too. So all our solutions are provided in vernacular languages too. So it's going to be as simple as, when they go meet a customer, so and so is the person, this is their age, this is what they do, this is their income level, what kind of products should I recommend? It gives unbiased recommendations firstly. And of the products recommended also, it gives clear reasons of why this customer should be buying so and so product. And if customers have any queries, it can answer. But again, because we're talking about micro insurance here, mostly customers don't ask questions actively because their awareness levels are itself low. But the reason why solutions like this are important is, only when there are enough people who are selling insurance, slowly people will start understanding what this product means. And the more people buy, they have good experience, then a lot of more people are going to buy. But the first step, which is having enough people selling insurance, is also becoming a problem. So we want to do that first, right? So that's the reason we started with sales use cases.
So you
which
have
is
a
what,
POS, if I may say in simple words, you have a point of sale enabler for agents to use it, making it so easy, multi-language. So you mentioned AI, and AI, of course, is very soon is going to be air. I think AI will become AIR, because without that, we can't breathe. People say it's a bridge. I say we can't breathe without it, looks like. So for the sake of everyone who's listening in, what should we take away from your success story or your attempt? I know some things work, some things don't work.
Yes.
What is your attempt by using AI where you are moving the needle?
Okay, I'll talk about a simpler use case, which is easy to relate. And this is
Please.
customer facing. Let me not talk about the business facing. The reason
Yeah.
why I started with business facing is that's the first step. So where AI can really play a big role is when you engage, because currently think of the poor customers now, like even people like you and me, like most of the participants here, we ourselves find these products very overwhelming. We don't know, like say there is some claim, we don't know which channel to call. You call a call center, you don't get a straightforward response, right? But think of the situation where there is someone like a person, again, a chatbot, let me simplify it, as simple as a chatbot, but it is understanding your concern, it's understanding your emotion and talking back to you in a language you understand, in a dialect you understand. So for a customer, it's the journey doesn't end just because they don't have to worry about what's going to happen. I paid so much. What am I going to get? Or say there is a claim. Whom am I going to approach? Or why is something getting paid or not paid? It's utter confusion otherwise, right? So they don't have to wait on the call center lines. They don't have to go to insurance companies' branches. It's a simple customer facing solution where they can ask any question they want. They are answered in a way they can understand. And it gives them the assurance that whatever be the question, it can be attended to.
Okay, noted. But I mean, I'll say let's see for some more rounds of discussion that the conviction on distributing insurance through Kirana stores in India should happen much faster than expected.
Totally.
Because we can of course depend on agents, as I hear from you. There is a channel called Phygital. I hear that very often, though it confuses me whether it was for the DIY guy or for salesperson interaction. So there's no end to it, but it's a distribution game. I think every distributor plays a role. Every distributor is important. I can't say with the lack of penetration or low penetration in all the Southeast Asian markets. I think every bit is required. Every step takes you forward to serve, especially another person who's either underserved or unserved. We have both the parts of the population in all of Asia, unserved and underserved. And underserved actually has a lot of money. So affordability is not a problem, which is fair point. So with that, let me also steer towards someone here who's built a tech stack, which is Aman, you and your team, where you have made it far simpler for brokers. What I gather is while Bhargavi talking about POS for agents, you are possibly slightly more wholesale, if I may say, more industrial, where the MGAs who are multi-brand and the brokers like in India or other parts of the world, they have a pressure to set up a product. So if I'm a broker or an MGA who has 10 insurers to please, and here comes someone who says, I want to launch something for, let's say, Diwali offer, and a very typical system reply or a system person reply can be, एक महीना लग जाएगा, 2 महीना लग जाएगा, or it can take me, see you in January. We are already in October. What I hear from your success or your breakthrough is you're talking not months, you're possibly talking days or weeks. Maybe we'd like to hear from you. So why don't you tell us how are you disrupting the distribution game with your own conviction of where will needle move again for distribution in insurance in Southeast Asia, wherever you have been doing it.
Thank you, Mukesh. I'll first like to compliment both Bhargavi and Vijay. And I mean, they are both doing a splendid job in their own spaces where they've really, really moved the needle in their own businesses and helped. So Kettle Insurance, of course, is very innovative. And I believe Africa is a major, major market that they could be looking at. Again, I digress. So I come back. So we basically started the consulting business based out of Canada, and we were working on a project for one of the reinsurers in GCC. Where the problem statement that we were looking at was this reinsurer specifically wanted to get access to the retail mass market opportunity across the GCC countries. And they were very successful at getting treaties signed with their cedents, so insurance companies that they were dealing with across the markets. But those products, after the treaties were signed, they were approved by the regulator, never saw the light of day. For the simple reason, these were low-ticket mass market products, which in turn required the insurance company to invest into building the digital infrastructure and then to dispense it through their traditional distribution channels or direct to customer. So that was the main problem statement that came up there. And we were working with them on solving that problem for them. And this was as a consulting partner. While we were doing that work for this client, we also realized that insurers largely design products which are designed to be sold through intermediaries. And intermediaries would only go out and sell products, which obviously give them enough reward versus the effort that they put in. So in terms of revenue or the commissions that they generate. So if you ask an intermediary to go out to sell a $5 product or 100 rupees product, they probably would not be as motivated to do that because why? The effort versus reward equation doesn't really work for them. And that's the second part of the problem statement that we saw. The third problem statement that we saw was even if the insurance company did invest $500,000, $250,000 to build the tech infrastructure, it was very difficult for them to break even on the volumes because this is a volumes game. It's very difficult for them to break even on the volumes, which then discouraged any future projects. And because this is a market which is higher volume, you can't go out to the market with just one product. You have to have a nice suite and a bouquet of products which are simple to understand, which are over the counter, which are commoditized, affordable, accessible, and inclusive in nature, of course. So that's where we went back to the drawing board and said that we need to start working on a solution and creating an ecosystem. We are not going to look at only one entity within the entire supply chain. We will look at everyone together and we'll build a solution which caters to the entire ecosystem and the supply chain. So starting from the reinsurer, we would create a platform where a reinsurer can go and onboard multiple different cedants, design products which are specifically agreed with that cedant. So there is a treaty signed. They can deploy the product in less than 30 minutes, assign the product to one or multiple different cedants. The cedant gets access to the digital platform, which is hosted by them locally within their own countries, therefore taking care of the data privacy and the regulatory requirements that are there around data remaining with the insurer within the domiciled country. Then the cedant has the opportunity to use the system, assign products to their traditional distribution channels, and also to use direct-to-customer approach to get their products in front of the customer. So we did all of that. Again, the intermediaries also have their own access. So the sales stack is built up in a manner that, the hierarchies are there, all channels are there, everyone can see only their portfolio and so on and so forth. And of course, at the end of the day, the consumer gets their own digital access to whatever they've bought. The mandate that we worked on was that the end consumer should be able to complete, so one, understand the product in a single line. So it has to be as simple as that. Second, a customer should be able to access the entire product on their mobile phone. So unlike what you started off by saying that, multi-page document, an application form or a KYC process, which ends up confusing the end consumer far more than assisting them to take a decision within 60 seconds. So an application form, which pretty much pulls out most of the information using integrated solutions with their national IDs or whatever local government issue document was there, and to go straight directly into the payment gateway, make the payment, and then get out from the other side within 60 seconds with an email appearing in their mailbox. So the entire journey has been set up in a way that from a reinsurer setting up a product in less than 30 minutes, if the cedant has the regulatory approval to go live with the product, to the consumer accessing that product digitally on their phone, paying and buying, it should not take more than 60 minutes if all the other variables are taken care of. So product deployment to product consumption should not take more than 60 minutes. Then the next bit that we thought was more important was we are talking about tech creating hyper-personalized experiences across the board. Whether you look at financial services or you look at non-financial services, tech allows consumers to get very hyper-personalized services and products. So why are we not creating tech stacks which allow reinsurers, insurers, MGAs to design products which can cater to specific communities or a specific state? If you take India for an example, we know that every year Himachal Pradesh has floods, whereas other states might not have floods. So is there an opportunity which allows an insurer to look at that particular risk in one state in India and to design a product which can be dispensed digitally, a simple SME product which says that, a shopkeeper's goods are taken care of, they're safe financially against loss due to a flood. And that can be a 6 month product or a 3 month product. Can we do that? The system allows you to do that. So the entire thought behind creating the digital platform has been that, one, allow for innovation to happen, to create hyper-personalized experiences at the customer touch points, and then to scale up across different opportunities which otherwise currently insurers are not able to do. And then, because technology is allowing us that access, to use that as the main bridge to take care of the protection gap which we see globally. I mean, today we're talking about a protection gap around 7 to 8%, insurance penetration of 7 to 8% globally. So there's a massive opportunity out there. So digital penetrations, if you take India as an example, is 64, 65%. And that's a massive opportunity for consumers who can go in there and just protect their shop by paying maybe 200 rupees premium per month and take care of all their goods against simple hazards, fire, theft, or floods, or people just getting something as simple as financial protection against an event called death. Why do you want to even call it insurance? You do not really want to call it insurance because at the end of the day, the moment you say the word insurance, people walk away. You spook them. They don't understand, and the word itself is a jargon. So can you use technology to change that paradigm and then take it into a direction where people feel that, yes, this makes sense. And if I'm going to pay this much, and if this even happens, I will get so much of financial support. So that's where we are, and I'll probably share one more example that
Yeah. So I was just going to ask you, if you don't mind, if from your tech stack, which is very widespread as we can sense, which part will make a difference so that if we have people in the audience who maybe want to use you, or take your example of every state in India has their own unique challenge, whether it's flooding or some of it is also some are dry states where the crop suffers.
Sure.
Which part of your tech stack you think can be handy and useful so that we can launch products, go to market in maybe, I don't know, you said 1 day, 2 day, maybe 5 days or something like that?
Sure. That's a very good question. So basically, our target audience is reinsurers, insurers, MGAs, and brokers or intermediaries, brokers and banks. So if I was to just zoom into one of the examples, let's talk about a PSU bank sitting in India, which is currently averaging at 1.25 client penetration, which is very low. And it is being marred by a lot of mis-selling happening because people are chasing high ticket value cases, which the customer doesn't understand, and hence mis-selling and complaints. Now, if a PSU bank was keen to tap into the larger, wider audience of their client base in a digital format with simplified products, now whether it is a travel product, it's a home protect product, it's a life cover, is it a PA, or so on and so forth, whatever that product may be, they would be able to use something like our system, our platform, to have those products being sourced by different insurers, put it on this platform, and then deploy through their digital assets, backed up with a nice wrapper of marketing to create visibility and awareness. And they'll have something go to market which can be done within a few months, assuming providers are ready to support them on the products, which I see PSC banks as bank insurance relationships, it's fairly simple for them. Now, that's one of the opportunities that we see in the market. Now, a large broker who has a lot of group business on their books, a lot of group health business on their books. Now, they've all been toying around with the idea, how do we go out and upsell or cross-sell to these people? I know exactly if I've sold a health policy, what benefits are not there, if a dental is not there, if a maternity is not there. Can I have a sachet product, as in your own words, just for that specific audience who does not have an employer-sponsored benefit? Can I do that? So opt-in benefits that I can offer to those segments, because these are targeted audience, right? You already have them on your books. You have that relationship. You know there's a gap on the policy that they have. Can you give them something which is an opt-in? So that's the second opportunity. insurers who see that their database is wide.
Sorry, Aman, we hear a disruption from your audio. Are your signals okay?
Yeah, frozen right now, actually.
Yeah.
And they want some assured by writing. Oh, is it?
Yes,
Is
you're
it any better now?
frozen. Audio okay, but the video is frozen. Yeah, good.
Oh, good. Okay, I'm not sure
Okay,
what
now
happened there,
okay.
but
We lost you for 4-5 seconds. Carry
oh,
on.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So,
No worries.
so basically, just retracing my steps back a bit. So what I was trying to say was that insurer who has a set of clients who fall into a pre-underwritten criteria where they feel that they can offer a slightly higher sum assured without any underwriting, and they want to do that entire process digitally, our system can allow them to do that. So there are various different opportunities, various different use cases which I can share across the entire supply chain for different stakeholders within the supply chain. And that's what we are trying to do. That when we have the technology, we should be able to allow people to innovate and then to take products which can directly be consumed by consumers without them needing or having a need of assistant sales to come to them and then explain the product and so on and so forth.
But
Now,
do you see insurers responding to you well? Because you want to simplify, but they got to underwrite the product.
Yeah, so interestingly, they are. So while we've not done much work in the Indian markets, our experiences has been largely on the North American side and in the GCC side. Insurers are very, very open to innovate and create products specifically for this segment. The understanding, of course, is from in building a portfolio which is more sustained, which is more
Frozen again.
Yeah, I think he has.
Mukesh, I see a
which is
lot of
profitable.
questions on
So
the
everyone's kind of
Q&A
thinking on
panel for
those.
all three of us as
I'm
well.
so sorry.
No worries, no worries.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean,
Am I still frozen?
now you're
Am I?
okay.
I'm so sorry. I have no idea why this is happening. But yeah. So now, just moving forward from where I just ended there. Now we are in the process of building a completely AI first native core system, which is targeted to be used by new age insurers, which is a multi-line product, multilingual product, multi-currency product. So basically, new insurers who are willing to get into the market and launch purely AI first cloud native solutions. So we are now building that, and I believe one of our deployments is going to be within the Asian markets fairly soon. So
Thank
I'm not
you.
sure how much of that came through, but I'll take a pause here.
No, we got it. Definitely, we got it, and we'll see how we get the questions coming in, and we have some bit of time left to take some questions. Am I right, Maitri? We can take some questions.
There are questions on the Q&A section that I already see for all three panelists.
Yeah.
I can take 60
Can you
seconds.
start? Yeah, Vijay, you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
some. I also noticed some of it is coming your way. So Vijay, would you like to start on that?
Yeah, two questions, coming, both questions are related. I think the question is, how is the health of the animal captured? And the second is, without an actual vet. So both are related. So the answer to that question is, technically, the whole technology stack replaces or acts as veterinary science that would have otherwise been conducted by an actual vet on the ground. So what really happens is we take three pictures of the cow. One is behind the tail. So lift the tail and take a picture of the cow. And then there are pictures of the cow that are taken from both sides of the animal. The data that is captured in the system for the system to calculate the overall health of the animal, besides the pictures that are taken, actually are data points like the days since the last calving, the pregnancy status, the number of months that the animal has been pregnant, the body conditioning, the bone structure. Now, these are things that get captured through the imaging, the imaging process that we deploy, and a combination of all of this actually provides an overall health status of the animal, including cash flows that are derived for an animal that is already providing milk today. So that's how Surabhi completely works. And I'll be very, very happy if there is a specific participant who'd like to understand this in a lot more detail. We can do I mean, just in the interest of time, we can do a full
Yeah.
detailed presentation on how Surabhi operates. But those are the two questions that I saw coming my way.
Yeah. Bhargavi, there's a question for you that while you mentioned that the need comes out from the consumer, but the person is asking very rightfully, so if he is illiterate, he or she is illiterate, how do
Correct.
you get what he wants, he or
True.
she needs?
So I think the question it's about the servicing aspect, right? Like say somebody has sold something, because that's the reason I said selling is always, at least for the next couple of years, has to be through a physical channel. That's why we are empowering the agents who are facing these customers with this expertise. When the customer wants to interact, like because we talked about the AI solutions that ease customers, that simplify customer experience or solve customer problems. So here we are not expecting them to explain anything. So imagine a farmer or a cycle repair shop owner. They had health insurance. They don't know how to claim. It's as simple as this one. मैं कुछ प्रॉब्लम है घर में, बीमार हो गया, मैं क्या करूं अब, अभी कहाँ जाऊं? So there will be a guided journey. So the intention of having these AI solutions is it will guide you empathetically, like how a human relationship manager would guide you. So they don't have to explain anything. They just have to say like, this is the policy I have got, and this is what my situation is, and this is what I want to do, or I want to know. They don't have to explain anything. It's going to be a guided journey, which is completely handheld by a virtual relationship manager who functions like a human relationship manager. I hope that
Yeah,
answered the question. Was that
yeah,
what
yeah, you
you
got it.
intended? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just for the purpose of everybody, I'll just build upon that in these bite size or small affordable insurance, especially in bite size, if the collaboration or embedding is very contextual, it becomes very easy to, even for the not so aware, I will not use the word illiterate, for the not so aware to also get understood. So let me give you an example. There are some markets where mobile phone operators, of course, in their app, they sell eSIM and travel insurance by making it intuitive with AI that, for example, if I'm traveling for 15 days, I'm given an eSIM for 15 days with global roaming. So when I'm booking the travel insurance for 15 days, I'm going to, let's say, wherever, to Dubai or wherever, and the mobile company gets to know that through their app, they give you a roaming for 15 days. They enable it for you. And therefore, travel insurance is embedded with that. Or the other way around, I am going to Bangkok. I enable my roaming for 10 days. It automatically bundles in the travel insurance for 10 days because I enable the roaming for 10 days. So here, the information is assumed in a logical way, because if I'm traveling for 10 days for roaming, I will, whoever I am, less educated, more educated, in an app you are activating or you're buying roaming, whoever you are. And therefore, there are many examples when you embed it with the contextual journey, and travel is maybe slightly easier because travel people get more expressive. But even with respect to health insurance and life insurance, there are contextual journeys getting built. But embedded plays a very important role. Even another example comes to mind is in another market I saw people who pay water bill. They go online and they're paying their water monthly bill. It easily prompts them to say, "Do you want home assurance for earthquake and flooding?" Because in some markets that's a threat. So when you're paying the water bill, assuming online payment, I'm talking all online, it's very easy to bundle in a home assurance, and therefore you pay just this much more and you're covered for the month. So you're paying monthly bill, so it actually makes it affordable bite, which is monthly bills for electricity, monthly bill for water, so monthly bill for home assurance. Why should I think of annual with a discount? I don't want to think, because it's very logical for me to fulfill rather every monthly payment. And that makes it affordable, that makes it easy to fulfill as well. So just adding to the point that Bhargavi made is information can come in, and very good interpretations can be done with the help of AI with the behavior. So the behavior should have a starting point with the embedded journey. Behavior can't be plucked from the sky. there is that way the AI won't help. There has to be an input for it to have an output. Some people think AI is a magician. AI is not a magician, or not yet. So yeah, and I also see a question, Aman, for you on the data identity layer. So would you like to take that?
Thank you. Yeah, of course. So again, like I said, as per regulatory requirements, the app, the software that or the platform that we have, it gets deployed with the cedent or the insurance company, which is licensed and by the regulator in that country where they operate. So therefore, the data ownership remains with them. The system that we offer, it works as a layer on top of the existing legacy core system, integrates with the core system across different touch points. So it would integrate with the payment gateways, it would integrate with the SMTP servers, and then it would also have a direct line of data transfer with the reinsurer who's reinsuring that product. And data transfer to the reinsurer happens to whatever degree that they've agreed on terms between the reinsurer and the cedent. And that's how the entire data layer is being set up. Once we deploy, it's on the cloud network or the physical premise of the insurance company. We do not have access to the data or anyone else have access to the data. Security layers are standard as per what we offer on the platform. And of course, we can discuss that more in detail. And if there are any additional security protocols that the client wants us to deploy, we can do that also for the customer. So basically, that's the short answer for the question that was being asked. Anything in specific that you had in mind, I'd be more than happy to answer those questions.
Yeah, I'll keep in mind the time because we are almost towards the end, or actually at the end. And thank you, everybody, for the questions as well as for the answers. More questions, I'm sure it can be routed through the Manthan organizing committee, and right answers can be given. And Manthan, in the true spirit of Manthan, the few messages that I would like to leave behind is this is a very bright spot in the entire insurance space. Micro insurance, or of making insurance affordable with the use of technology. That's the simplest way I put it. And as far as we are concerned as startup entrepreneurs and so many of them, I see a galaxy of stars. It's a big change in terms of quality of people getting involved. That's a huge change, at least personally, I have seen an experience in the last 10 to 12 years. With due respect to those who were there earlier, I didn't see so many quality, let's say, intellectual brains coming into startups and entrepreneurs for insurance industry. It was meant for maybe banking, or it was meant for credit cards, or it was meant for mobile companies, and not as much for insurance. I've been in the industry for 25 years. The quality of people that I have seen now in last 10 years especially is 180-degree changed. That's my clear observation and conviction. And more will come because the enthusiasm is spreading. So I don't just see the light at the end of the tunnel. I actually see an explosion at the end of the tunnel. And I mean a positive explosion because numbers are there, undertapped, unserved, all that is fine. But adoption rate is improving. Embedded insurance is making a huge difference. Some examples we heard. There, of course, there is lack of time, so we can't go on and on. And yes, as far as India is concerned, insurance will be available in the Kirana stores. Mark my words, and it will be sooner than, I won't say 10 years, Bhargavi, I will say possibly 2 years.
Hopefully.
2 years.
Really looking
I
forward.
know we are getting
Mukesh,
recorded, but Kirana
Mukesh, we can do that
stores,
today.
Kirana, yeah, it is almost happening today in some parts of the world, but there is no
We
time
can
to
do
share.
that today.
Yeah, but Kirana stores in India will be selling insurance. You will walk in and there'll be no issue of the KYC or identification as well. Let me tell you that also, because there are other surrogates which are working. So if I have a mobile phone, I have been already KYC'd or I have been identified. So if I'm piggybacking as a mobile owner, then you will not ask me anything. Or if electricity bill or the water bill or so many other surrogates are really working, because India has gone far with UPI, and authentication of a person or a real buyer is a done deal now. So Kirana stores will sell. There will be a massive growth of numbers. We just need more believers in terms of, I'll say, startup community. All of us need to scale up definitely. And last but not the least, I'm sure we all need more investors believing in us as well, so that we have more and more of us. With that, thank you very much.
No, thanks.
If we have
Thanks,
missed
Mukesh.
anything we couldn't
Thank you,
cover,
Mukesh.
over to the next series or the next chapter of Manthan with the other panelists, I'm sure. And let's continue the journey.
No,
Thank you very much,
Mukesh.
everybody.
Thank
Quick
you, everyone.
request, Maitra. There are still questions that are popping up even right now, and it's just impossible to type and speak or kind of pay attention to my other panelists. Can you do me a favor? If possible, if you can probably circulate the additional questions that are coming in which remain unanswered over an email, I will happily answer them in as much detail as possible and send them back. And same, I'm sure Raman and Bhargavi will be equally delighted to do that. And then you can circulate it back to all the panelists so that, the cycle is complete. I'm happy to see the curiosity, happy to see the interest. The three of us will be more than happy along with Mukesh to answer back as much as possible.
I'll do
Absolutely.
that. Yeah.
No, thanks a lot, everyone. And
Yeah,
Mukesh, you were a
thank
great,
you.
great host. I someday we'll all catch up for a coffee as well.
Oh, we
See you
will.
guys
We
soon,
will
everyone.
definitely.
Absolutely.
It's a small
Absolutely.
world. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
Thank you,
Mukesh, and
everyone.
thank you, speakers. This says that digital innovation isn't just about technology, it's about enabling access, trust, and empowerment for those who need it most. So, on behalf of Micro Insurance Innovation Hub, thank you all for being part of the Manthan series. We look forward to continuing these conversations and see you in next sessions. Have a great day ahead. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a
Bye-bye,
great day.
everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks.